It's only 4:30 in the afternoon and it's already starting to get dark outside. I hate this. I really hate the winter weather because it gets dark so early and you just feel less motivated to do stuff, but you don't have a choice. So yeah, you just gotta deal with it. Today though, we're talking about all the tanks in the fish room and the final update for 2022. So with nothing further ado, let's get started and talk about the first tank that's right here. So this is the 4-foot rainbow fish tank. There's not that many types of rainbow fish in here. I think there's only 2 types right now, the dwarf neon rainbows, as well as the Melanitania lacustris, which is the turquoise rainbow, this guy right here. And this is what I call the Crypt Jungle, because I want to have mostly crypts in here. Well, there are only mostly crypts in here, except for this stunning plant in the middle, which is 𝗯𝘂𝗀𝗀𝘀𝗀, and you can see how well it's been doing, just sending out new leaves, and the leaves get so long, it's kind of crazy. So gotta start trimming off some of the long leaves, and you can see there is a little bit of algae in here. We do have a slight hair algae problem right now. I think because during the autumn winter months, the sunlight that comes through here is quite strong. It's quite some intense sunlight that hits the side of this tank, as well as this tank right here. That's why you can see algae on the glass. I just recently did a water change on this tank, so it is looking quite clean right now. You've also got the 𝗯𝘂𝘀𝗀𝗀𝘀, the Kerry tetras, or the royal tetras is what I like to call them. They're stunning blue, purplish color tetras. And yeah, I really like this tank. But this tank is going to get moved someday, and I'll talk more about that in just a moment. This tank here, where are all the fish? There should be 7 African cichlids in here, and I promise you they're in here. They're just hiding. Look, there's one. Okay, we can't focus on. Oh, there's one right here. There's 2. Alright, but if we put some food in, they'll definitely come up. Yeah, and there they go. You can see how beautifully colored they are. I love these electric yellow cichlids, the 𝗯𝘂𝘀𝗀𝗀𝘀 yellow labs. They are so fun to watch, especially when they're out. They're usually out more often, but because I was just moving around quite a bit before making this video, I think they got a little bit scared. But I do plan on adding a few more fish in here, thinking of getting some Boesemani cichlids. You can see when I move around, they all get to hiding. But yeah, it's a nice looking tank. Just some algae problems right now. We've got some blue-green algae, which is kind of annoying, but we'll definitely get that sorted out. So in this next section, you can see there's nothing here. There's just a ladder and some random stuff that I've been moving around. But I plan to move one of these 2 tanks. So these are both 4-foot by 1.5-foot tanks, I think around 70 gallons. But I plan on moving one of these over here, and I'm still not sure which one yet. I really want to move this one, this green tank, the beautiful Crypt Jungle, over here, because right in this spot I plan to put a sofa, a couch, and I want to sit down right here and look at a lot of green tanks. So right now I'm pretending to sit down. You can see my reflection there. But this tank is going to be beautifully green and planted. Right now you can see a bit of green, but it's not like looking nice. And this tank too, I plan on having it really nice and green and lush with plants and planted, and just 2 nice tanks that are green. And then right here, when you sit and look next to this tank right here, that will be there, I was thinking to have another green tank, so you're surrounded with green everywhere. And then of course we're going to have the contest tank there that we just recently moved, and that's going to be green as well. So you'll kind of be surrounded with green, and I really like that idea. But another idea was the African cichlid tank. We put it there and we can kind of interact with them more. It's having like a pet fish. These African cichlids, they're like your little pets because they always swim by you, and I swear these guys are skittish right now, but usually they're more active and they'll swim up to you wanting food and stuff like that. So I was thinking, I don't know, maybe you guys can help me out. So we're gonna have a couch right there, and right here, which tank do we put? we put our friendly pets, but the tank isn't so green. We might try to grow some algae on the rocks, which will look nice, and maybe that's green enough. Or we just have a beautiful lush green planted tank that's right here. And I'll talk to you about once we move one of these tanks, the other tanks will be moving somewhere there. This tank right now is dark because I don't have a light, so let me turn the light on. Alright, so it's slightly brighter. It's still not perfect. You can't really see the fish really clearly, but these house my angelfish for the time being, just for the moment. My red shoulder 𝗯𝘂𝘀𝗀𝘀 angelfish, you can see some of the red on there. They're not looking their best right now. We've also got some Peruvian angelfish, which are the ones without the reds on the backs. This is a Peruvian right here. And yeah, they do look kind of similar. Kind of like in hiding mode right now. I've also just dumped in a lot of this Echinodoros uruguayensis, a sword plant that was in my contest tank. It's just grown so big and the root structure is incredible. I gotta get these planted, but I don't have any tanks to do that in right now. I could plant them in this tank, but I don't want it to be in this tank. So I'm gonna put gravel in this tank and plant those swords in so that I can keep them, because I really don't want to lose this plant. You can see it's a really nice looking plant. I love the greens on it. And this tank here, by the way, these two are 3-foot tanks. I think in the US they're 40 gallons. Here in Japan we don't go by gallons, so I'm not 100% sure, but I also don't really go by liters. Usually I just say the tank dimensions and yeah, whatnot. So this is a 90 cm tank, 90 by 45 by 45 centimeter tank. Is usually how I'd say it, but we've got my little rainbow fish that I bred. All these rainbow fish and the 3 angelfish that are in here are ones that I bred myself, and you can see they're looking amazing. This rainbow fish, by the way, is the Boesemani rainbow fish from the 𝗯𝘂𝘀𝘀𝘀 area. Once we get it all nicely planted and the rainbow fish get bigger, it's gonna look incredible, and I can't wait for that to happen. The rainbow fish also slowly starting to color up, and of course there's about, I think, 15 rainbow fish in there, and once they get fully grown, I don't think 15 rainbow fish might be a bit too much for this size tank, so I'm going to definitely move some into this tank and also probably try to sell some. I've also got more babies up over there. Let me see if we can zoom in, but in that tank right there I've got a ton more babies, so yeah. We're doing well with breeding rainbow fish. And here, this is a light stand that I built myself, DIY, using stainless steel pipes. And you can see it looks quite nice. It's hanging the 𝗲𝗾𝗀𝗀𝗀𝘀 A2 series. It's just very slim looking light, and I really like the way this light stand came out. So maybe in the future I'll make a video on how I built this. I'm going to build another one, identical one, for this tank right here. So we'll have 2 matching tanks. And the stand is also, yeah, kind of matching. But now let's move on to this tank. This is the 4-foot IAPLC contest tank, and it's looking quite amazing right now because I've emptied it out. Excuse this down jacket right here. I need to get a coat hanger for this room, but this is the contest tank and it's in its place. I really love the placement of this tank. I've also leveled it out. Previously the water, when there was water in here, it wasn't leveled at all. Like, this side was much lower than this side, so got it all leveled. And we got the lights hanging from the ceiling. It's not yet complete. I still need to get a board for that area right there, but it is hanging. Now I'm not sure whether to paint this or to just leave it the way it is. And yeah, I really like it. In the past we used this from Specialized Aquatic Solutions, and this is amazing. This light stand worked really well, and I'm actually still using part of it. The top part is still up there, so I put these wooden, this frame up above, and it's hanging this light stand. So if I wanted to move the lights or change out the lights that I'm using to something else, I can do that really easily, and I really like this system. Yes, I'm really happy with this, really pleased, and you can see it is straight as well. Very nice and flush. So, very happy with this. And yeah, the angle of the tank, some of you may think it's weird. Why didn't I line it up with the wall? You can see I've made kind of like a triangle open space back there, but I just wanted it to be flush with this wall over here. And when I look at it, I'm gonna be able to look at it straight on from the room. Yeah, rather than it pointing. If I lined it up with the wall, it would be kind of pointing that way, and I'd have to stand over there to look at it straight, and yeah, it wouldn't be that comfortable. So this is the way I went with. Right now the lights aren't turned on, but we'll definitely make more videos with this tank in the future. I'm so excited to do that. So excited to get this tank up and running with these new lights, stands, this whole system. Can't wait. Excited. And then this here is kind of like the stock pile area. I'm slowly trying to get rid of stuff I don't use. I kind of want this to be like a minimalist, like gallery style fish room, and yeah, just slowly kind of transforming the way I do things, the way I live, kind of. Yeah, but yeah, so we don't need to talk about that right now. But let's move on to some of the fish that are on this rack system. Okay, so starting with this, as I mentioned, my Boesemani rainbow fish babies. You can see how small they are, but they are absolutely amazing, and they're also like food motivated. In this tank over here, we've got the angelfish. These are 𝗯𝘂𝘀𝘀𝗀𝘀 angelfish that I raised. Still young, also very food motivated, you can see that. But they are so cute, and I love angelfish, especially when they're this size. They just look so nice. In this tank over here is some, what do you call them? Mosquito fish, or the 𝗲𝗾𝗾𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀 formosa, if I'm even saying it correctly. I'll put the name up on the screen, but oh, here's one right now. There's a female right there. Yeah, here in Japan we call them the mosquito fish. I'm sure in America that's not what you call them. I remember the mosquito fish like being those kind of like molly kind of fish that you find in rivers and stuff. But yeah, there's a female right there, and I've got a couple males as well. And they are breeding for me. You can see this tank is just full of roots, and this thing isn't really for them. It was for one of my rainbow fish tanks previously, but yeah, I've gotten some babies from these fish, and yeah, I plan to do something better for those guys in the near future, but for now, it's just they're in this tank for now. Over in this tank, we've got some new fish that I recently acquired. These are the 𝗯𝘂𝘀𝗀𝘀𝗀𝘀, and they are incredible. The males just look so good. There you can see a male right there. That yellow with the white tips on the fins, and I don't know how many I have right now. I think I have 3 males and like quite a number of females. Maybe 10 or something like that. Quite a weird ratio, but the store that I bought these from, like, always the males go away first. Like, the people always seem to buy the males, so yeah, I just get all the females because I want to breed them. And the males are definitely the more beautiful ones for this species, but if you're trying to breed them, you want more females than males, because more females means you get more eggs. Now down in this tank is a fish that hasn't been doing well for me at all. And you can see right here, it's a sick fish. This is the delicate blue-eye rainbow fish. I had 8 of them, 7 died. This is my last one, and you can see it's not doing well at all. I really don't know what's wrong with it. You can see it definitely looks sick. I don't know if it's velvet or fish TB mycobacteria or whatever it's called. I don't know. I don't know what's going on with this fish. That guy still is eating. They were all eating, but they just slowly drop dead one by one, and it's really annoying because I really like this fish. I'm sorry the glass is a little bit dirty right now, but yeah, you can see I'm really not sure what's wrong with this fish. And every time I get my hands in this tank or I feed my fish, I make sure to do this tank last because I really don't want to spread this to any other tank. So yeah, this tank, my hands always go in last, and I actually haven't put my hands in this tank in a long time because I'm just really scared to to transfer it to any other tank, so yeah, I'm just leaving that guy alone, feeding him once a day, just a little bit of food. But yeah, I don't think that guy's gonna make it through. In this tank I've got some female 𝗲𝗀𝗀𝗀𝘀𝗀𝗀𝗀, and only females in here because I've been trying to selectively breed. So I pulled out all the good females. All the females I believe are nice in my opinion. They've got the red faces as well as the black body and the red tails, and these are the nicest ones out of my collection. And then all the not so good ones are in this tank right now. And then the nice males that I have were in this tank, maybe you saw earlier, but I have 3 amazing beautiful males in this tank, and you can see them here. Beautiful red color face, the fins are amazing. So I plan to use these guys to breed, there's another one there, with those females over there. Yeah, and then the rest that are in here, I'm still not sure what I'm doing with them, but they're just staying in here for the time being. Okay, now up here, these are the wild Boesemani rainbow fish from 𝗯𝘂𝗀𝘀𝗀𝘀, and I don't think this gravel suits them, or maybe I just need to get more plants for them to color up better, because the colors definitely can be improved. And when they go into breeding mode, the colors are amazing. But I've actually got 4 in here, but 3 of them are wild, and one is one that was bred by me. The very first rainbow fish that I managed to breed, I think it's this guy. This is the smallest one in there. But yeah, these fish have been doing amazing. Now in this tank is another one, another rainbow fish that I absolutely love. My friend introduced me to them. I actually knew them from way before, but they were always, I always thought of them as kind of expensive, and I always thought they were like delicate. And I found out that they're really hardy and amazing. You can see this one is really plump. That's a female, probably holding lots of eggs. And I've got 5 of them in here, if the other one will show itself. But yeah, there's 4 up there. Yeah, they're all there. So you can see all 5 of them in here, 2 males, 3 females, and I've gotten eggs from them, and I think I've got babies as well. Let me show you the babies. So once again, let's move over here. And in this little thing, I've got 3 babies, and they should be those 𝗲𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀 luminosity, and they've got striking blue eyes, and they've got some reddish coloration on their bodies. But yeah, you can see 3 of them just swimming around right there. So really happy that I've been able to get some babies out of those luminatus. But yeah, plan to breed more of them and get more out of them. Down here is a fish that I really love, and you can see the tank. We set this tank up together about a month back or 2 months back. I can't remember exactly when, but the fish in here have been doing amazing. The checkerboard cichlids, you can actually see all 7 of them in here right now, but they are looking so good. And yeah, I've been trying to feed them as much as possible, and the guppies always get the food first. So you can see this female guppy is like so big because she's always the one that's getting most of the food, and she's probably holding a bunch of babies right now. There's also this male. This male is really good quality. Like, I really like this male as well. It's got lots of red, nice blackish blue coloration, nice finish. The female though isn't really like of my standard because it doesn't have the red color on the face, and you can see the tail isn't like fully colored. So yeah, I don't know if I'll be keeping that female, but yeah, this tank has been doing awesome. Can't wait till those checkerboard cichlids get bigger and hopefully start breeding. This tank is a mess. I don't really touch this tank. There's some rainbow fish that I accidentally bred. These are the lacustris, the turquoise rainbows. I never planned on breeding them, but they just somehow like ended up growing in the tank, and yeah. And then we've got 1 gold ram right here. I bought as a pair, but this person, I don't know if this is the male or female, but beat up the pair, the other one, and yeah, I'm only left with this guy. Pretty sad about that. So this guy just lives in this tank. And we've also got my one single pleco, 𝗯𝘂𝘀𝘀𝗀𝘀 leopard frog pleco that I really want to get more of. So that is this racking system right here. All the tanks, well, most of the tanks here are 45 centimeters front to back, and they're 1 foot this way, so 10 gallons if I'm not mistaken, US. I've been slowly studying the US tank size so that I can kind of like relate to you guys, and yeah. And we've also got this string here. I mentioned in previous video that this is just airline going into the Angelfish tank over there. But in the future, these two tanks here will be running canister filters, and that's kind of the canister filters I've got in the corner over there. All the stuff is currently stored this way because I'm prepping to paint this floor. So yeah, that's why it's kind of messy right now, but I promise this place is gonna look incredible. Right here, we've got the 𝗲𝘂𝗶𝗲𝗀𝘀 resplendens, and I apologize, we don't have any lights on this tank right now. But these fish, even without any lights, and I'm sorry I'm wearing a white hoodie right now, they look amazing. You can see the males here just look so good, and we've also got some females. They're the olive colored or silverish colored ones, but the males just look so good in this tank, and I can't believe how nice they're looking. And we're also starting to get good plant growth. Remember when we set this tank up, the plants were all bold. I trimmed every single leaf off, and this is just how much has grown back, and it's definitely going to grow more than this. Also, I do plan on adding CO2 in the future. Right now there's no CO2 on this tank yet. We're just running a sponge filter, the 𝗯𝘂𝘀𝗀𝘀𝗀 sponge filter. But in the future I'm going to build a stand just for this tank, and we're going to place it right there. So where this yellow tape is, and 2 feet 60 centimeters is gonna be this tank right here. So yeah, right there, this tank. 𝗲𝘂𝘀𝗀𝗀𝘀, resplendens, Asian Rummynose Rasbora, and it's just gonna be a tank for them because I absolutely love this fish. And look, they're not even skittish today. I don't know why, but usually they just hide straight away. Today they're so good. Maybe they think they're gonna get fed, but yeah, I absolutely love this fish and really want to get more, and also really want to try to breed them. And why am I coming this way? Okay, so yeah, I remember now. This is some of the wood that I'm preparing so that I can build that stand for that tank. Alright, so that's that. Now let's move down below. This tank is just a stock tank where I'm just piling up all the plants that I'm not currently using and all the fish that don't currently have a display tank to be in. There's a whole bunch of red phantom tetras because they breed like crazy. If you give them lots of plants, they'll breed for you. Probably one of the easiest tetras to breed. So that's this tank, just a few mixed tetras and plants. Yeah, now let's move on to this side. Over here we've got some hibiscus. These are my auntie's hibiscus that she's keeping in here because it's warm in here. We've installed air cons. Well, I paid for the whole system. But yeah, this air conditioner to keep this room warm during the winter. And yeah, so we just store some of her plants here. You can see they're even flowering still. We don't need them to flower because it takes up energy for the plants, but they still flower anyways. But right here, let's start off with this tank. This is the 𝗂𝘂𝘀𝗀𝗀𝘀 tank that is no longer an 𝗂𝘂𝘀𝘀𝗀𝗀𝘀 because I've planted random plants in here. This is a really cool plant. This is 𝗯𝘂𝘀𝗀𝘀𝗀𝘀. I really don't know the proper English name. It's a plant that I found at one of my local fish stores, and I think it's quite rare. So it was rare and it was cheap, so that means I gotta get it. Yeah, I've also got some more in this tank. That right there, that green plant in the back right there. It kind of looks like Aquarium azurea, which is a more common Aquarium plant, but it's actually pretty rare and it's different than that. We've also got a guppy in here. I pulled this one out because this guy kind of caught my eye. His whole face, the coverage of red was just incredible compared to all the others. He's got so much red on his face area. So that's why I had to pull him out, keep him in here, feed him well, and see how this fish develops, because this guy just is a stunning looking fish and has potential for sure. Yeah, you can see that. Incredible. And the plants in here, this is the Dutch style tank. I've made more detailed videos about this, so if you want to go check that out, I'll put some links for you guys. But it's going through some algae problems right now. I also did a massive cut back over here. I've just got to work on this area of the tank as well as the back over there. And I'm taking out some of the plants I don't really like care for. Some of the super common plants I'm taking out because they take up lots of space. Like my Alternanthera reinecki mini, it's a very common plant, and I want to try to grow plants that are slightly rarer and plants that I will enjoy growing and propagating. So that's kind of what I'm doing right now. Like this, for example, the 𝗯𝘂𝗀𝗀𝘀𝗀 is so cool. I started off with 2 stems. Now I've got one big one right here, one right here, and I've propagated this guy, and now we've got another one starting to come out over there. So yeah, battling some algae issues, and I need to start dosing this tank. I'm not putting any fertilizers in this tank yet, so I really need to start doing that because I think the plants are starting to starve a bit. So yeah, we gotta do that. Down below is this tank, the 𝗲𝘂𝘀𝗀𝗀 tank that I've been neglecting, but I still do feed the fish. You can see I've also dumped a lot of plants in here from the contest tank. You can see back here lots of Vallisneria and Tenalis, so I gotta get to organizing that. But there's a bunch of gold tetras in here, as you can probably see them darting around in the back, and they've been breeding amazingly. That is this tank right here. Very neglected, and we need to do something about this tank. And I've got plants, I just haven't been able to get to those plants yet. So yeah, I think that is that it? Is that the fish room? Yeah, that is probably, and you can see how dark it is right now. Right now, it's 5:15. When I started this video, it was around 4:30 something, and it's 5:15, and look how dark it is out there. Crazy. The sky is beautiful though. Oh, and I forgot to show you guys the rice fish, but they are all in here. Like you can see one guy is actually out right now, but the water is green. You can see that guy. Okay, maybe not anymore, but it's definitely moving around, and water is green. Here's one other guy. This is the black one that I have, but it's cold, so they're kind of slowing down. And yeah, not, oh, here's one. There's one right there. There's 2. Yeah, and I just leave them out. They'll survive through the winter. Remember this fish room 1 year ago, 2 years ago? It was so different. We didn't have any walls up. We didn't have insulation. The ceilings were a different color. The walls, yeah, I just mentioned that as well. We didn't have air conditioning, so I had to try to heat as many of the tanks up as possible with heaters, and that takes up lots of energy, and it's kind of expensive doing that. And then the floors are going to be probably the biggest change of this fish room, as well as all the tanks that we'll be setting up. It's gonna be a gallery, and next year is gonna be a huge year for this fish room. I can't wait. If you're not yet subscribed, be sure to subscribe. But as always, I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, be sure to give a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already, so you don't miss all of this that's going to come. Be sure to comment something down below, and if you want to support this channel even more, you can consider becoming a member, and I'll see you guys next time.